The palace had seen many moments of glory, but nothing compared to the quiet storm swirling inside Sheikh Hamdan's heart. His poetry had always revealed pieces of his soul, yet the world never imagined the hidden chapter he carried with such grace. Behind the calm smiles and royal duties lived a man whose emotions ran deeper than the desert dunes, whose verses held truths too tender to be spoken aloud. And when love, loyalty, and destiny collided, it gave rise to a story the palace walls would whisper about for years. Sheikh Hamdan had always believed that love was a divine gift, something that arrived not once but sometimes twice, each with its own purpose. His wife, known for her elegance and wisdom, had long sensed the unspoken connection between him and the woman who held a quiet place in his heart. Instead of jealousy, she carried compassion; instead of rivalry, she carried understanding. She knew her husband's heart was vast, capable of loving without betrayal, capable of embracing without breaking. His girlfriend, a woman of poetic silence and gentle strength, had always remained in the shadows, respecting boundaries, guarding her heart with caution. She admired Sheikh Hamdan not for his crown but for his character, his humility, his kindness, and the gentleness behind his words. She never demanded a place, never sought a title, only cherished the moments destiny allowed. Her heart beat softly, yet it beat with a love that refused to fade. When the day arrived that Sheikh Hamdan's wife requested to meet the woman her husband held in quiet regard, the palace held its breath. No confrontation, no bitterness, just a calm invitation wrapped in dignity. She wanted clarity, not conflict. She wanted peace, not power. And in that moment, the story took a direction no one expected, a direction only love as pure as theirs could create. The meeting took place in a serene private garden where the scent of blooming jasmine softened the air. His wife arrived first, her posture straight, her heart steady. She had prepared herself not as a queen but as a woman seeking truth. When his girlfriend entered, she lowered her gaze, unsure of what fate awaited her, unsure of how to hold her emotions still. Silence lingered at first, then slowly melted into gentle conversation. His wife surprised her with kindness, thanking her for respecting boundaries, acknowledging the depth of her silence, and recognizing the sincerity of her heart. What could have been an emotional storm became a moment of unexpected grace. The girlfriend never imagined acceptance would come this way, soft, understanding, and without judgment. As their conversation unfolded, a truth became undeniable. Both women cared for the same man, but they cared in different, unique ways. His wife cared with the weight of years, of partnership, of shared responsibilities. His girlfriend cared with the softness of poetry, of connection, of unspoken devotion. And instead of colliding, their feelings found a way to coexist with dignity. When Sheikh Hamdan arrived later to join them, he was unprepared for the sight before him. Two worlds he deeply respected sharing a moment of peaceful understanding. His heart tightened with emotion, and for a moment he forgot he was a prince. He was simply a man standing before the two souls who shaped his world in unimaginable ways. That night, overwhelmed by the emotions the meeting had stirred, Sheikh Hamdan turned to what he knew best, poetry. His pen moved like a gentle wind over sand, carving verses soaked with gratitude, humility, and love. He wrote not for the world but for the two women who had shown him the true meaning of acceptance. His poems carried tears he never shed, confessions he never spoke, and promises carved from sincerity. He wrote about love that does not compete but completes. Love that does not wound but heals. Love that does not divide but expands. His words flowed like desert rain, rare, precious, and powerful enough to change the landscape of hearts. And in those verses, he honored both women, each holding a unique place in the geography of his soul. When his girlfriend read the poems, Her heart trembled. Every word carried the weight of a man torn yet faithful to his principles. His poems didn't promise a throne, nor equality, nor permanence. They promised honesty. They promised respect. They promised a place in his poetry, which for him was the highest form of. Days passed, but the memory of that unusual meeting stayed alive like a soft echo inside the palace. Servants whispered about the harmony they had witnessed, something rare in royal history. Instead of tension, the air carried a quiet calm, as if hearts that were once careful around each other had finally learned to breathe freely. Sheikh Hamdan moved through the halls with a gentler smile, relieved that honesty had not shattered the fragile balance of his world. The girlfriend, though still living a life outside the spotlight, felt a new kind of peace settling inside her. She no longer feared the shadows nor the uncertain future. The acceptance she received wasn't just permission, it was a recognition of her worth. She realized that sometimes destiny doesn't give people a title, a crown, or a name in history. Sometimes it gives them a place in someone's heart, and that place is more valuable than anything the world can offer. His wife, wise beyond her years, continued to observe everything with calm eyes. She understood that a man like Sheikh Hamdan, a poet, a leader, a soul overflowing with emotion, could love in ways others wouldn't understand. She chose to see him not as a husband bound by rules but as a human being with a heart too big to fit inside just one definition. And in her acceptance, she found her own strength, her own quiet victory. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, Sheikh Hamdan gathered both women in the same peaceful garden where they first met. The moment felt sacred. He didn't bring royal guards, nor formalities, only a notebook in his hand. He read a few new lines he had written, words soaked in sincerity, thanking them for their courage, their grace, and their ability to choose understanding over pride. With every verse, he offered a piece of his soul, and neither woman interrupted. They simply absorbed the beauty of a man who loved deeply yet respectfully. In the nights that followed, his poems began to take on a new glow. They were no longer born from conflict or longing but from harmony and gratitude. The world continued to admire Sheikh Hamdan for his leadership, unaware of the emotional masterpiece unfolding behind palace walls. And though the future remained unknown, one truth stood strong: love, when guided by respect and maturity, could turn even the most delicate